was like a plate of food made to look like the face of Hitler. Like these old pioneer dudes with like a fucking deer hung up behind them.
No salt, no sharks, no worries. Mix Vintage Voyage with your host, Mick, and your co-host, Whittums. Today's episode.
Hello and welcome back to Mix Vintage Voyages. In this episode, I return once again to Allen, Michigan. And it is our redemption at Capital Antiques. As you may know, last time I went there, I dropped my camera before I got to go in. So it was not the best trip. I was not happy. Luckily, I'd already gone to some other antique stores before heading into Capital. So it was not a trip that was completely for naught. But yeah, dropping my camera definitely made me sad. And I did not want to even really spend much time in Capital. So we returned with a brand new camera and my dad, which made the trip extra special. Yes, Capital Antiques, as well as just not as close as the whole Allen Antique Mall, but Allen Antique Barn. It is just a little bit more up the road from Capital and the Allen Antique Mall. It's really easy to confuse those two. Allen Antique Mall, Allen Antique Barn. This is the barn. So today's episode we're reviewing Capital Antiques and Allen Antique Barn.
There's lots of neat stuff down here, Philip.
Oh, you should see all the neat stuff they got up here. I put so much cool stuff in her little prison.
So some cool stuff that I saw there. They had like a whole ass slot machine. That was one of the first things I saw. This like pink bear mascot suit. Shrek glass cups. The McDonald's, those are not very old, especially the ones I saw. I don't know how many series McDonald's did of those, but the point where Shrek and Fiona started having children, there was little ogre babies on the cups, so. But I couldn't help but wonder if those were radioactive at all, because I know that was a whole thing.
It was not these cups. These Shrek cups were Shrek the Third, and it was the Shrek Forever After 3D ones that were recalled.
$3,000 red couch. It was pretty cool. I don't know that it was worth $3,000 though. Maybe there's something I don't know about it. We saw some Lost box sets, so that's fun to see in the wild. Very weird, like old hunting painting, or not, they weren't paintings, they were like printed photos on like wood block of like these old pioneer dudes with like a fucking deer hung up behind them, and they were real photos, like black and white photos, but like printed on wood. This is like a cool sassy retro owl plate. They did have some nice like cross stitch, like funky cross stitch, like embroidered pieces. I think that's where some of the kind of like MCM points came from. Yeah, there's some cool glass. One booth in particular that definitely had some very like MCM vibes about it, that the glass was very cool, organized by color. I love the blue and the green glass. There was also this really cool like little funky white and brown planter, and the shape of it was very interesting, very MCM vibes to me. And I thought about buying it, but I ended up not. It didn't have any drain holes. I saw this brand. It seemed like it was like a small local brand called Life Unsalted. And immediately, being from the South, being from Florida, if you have spent enough time in the area, you know that a big brand down there is called Salt Life. And so I couldn't help but think that it was kind of like a response to Salt Life. It was Life Unsalted. So I wanted to look more into that, and I just thought it was funny. I don't know. I don't know much about Salt Life, but I always just kind of found like the bumper stickers and stuff kind of obnoxious. I don't know, I'm a hater.
Okay, so yeah, I did research this brand, and it's funny because the first one that comes up is clearly like, their logo is in the same like ugly ass font. But this is not the brand that I saw. And this is clearly a response, because it's like, thy phone salted. No salt, no sharks, no worries. Like, the ocean is some horrible place. It is kind of a horrible place. Actually don't like going to the beach, but I just think it's funny. And then, yeah, so it was like Michigan Graphic Arts is where they told you to go. And then I ended up finding like this. Ooh, this is primitive looking. Where you can order these. So this is like this font. So we have two like Michigan Great Lakes Life Unsalted brand things that have been made. And yeah, I'm doing free advertising for them. So yeah, I just wanted to include that because I just thought it was interesting.
Oh yeah, I saw this really cool old phone, and looking at it again, I'm like, is that real? Was that really like what our phones were like?
And then I'm looking at it again, and I'm like, how the hell did I miss the literal Nazi memorabilia in front of it?
It seems so like, I don't know, just small. And also just very, like, artsy, which, very cool. Like, kind of, if that was just, like, a regular phone or if there was something, I don't know. But I thought it was really, really cool. And they did have some really cool, like, wood-carved pieces that were very MCM to me. And looking back at one, it's like this mother and daughter carved piece. And it was only $40, and it was, like, a decent size. So I was like, I don't know, that was kind of cool. Sometimes looking back at this stuff, I'm like, I should have brought that home with me. Why did I leave that behind? They had a wood slice clock, and I've been looking for one of those, but I want like a nice one. This one was kind of small and shitty. But my aunt had like a really big, like a decent sized one in her living room whenever I was growing up. And that's what I think of. Like, I want one like that. And it was like sealed really nicely, and I would love to have one of those. So when I see one, of course, that's the second one I've come across now while antiquing, and decided not to buy it. The last thing that I saw that I want to mention was like they had one booth that was like literally just Fiestaware, the whole damn booth. My mom is a collector of Fiestaware, so I've known about it for like my whole life. But getting into antiquing more recently, I realized I was like, I have no basis for what is like vintage versus like newer Fiesta. So I was talking to my mom about it. She told me the quickest way to differentiate old versus new is to look at the logo on the bottom. And if the Fiesta has a capital F, it's newer, and if it's lowercase, it's older. Hopefully I remember that right. If not, Mom, I'm sure you're gonna watch this. Go ahead and comment and correct me. But hopefully I remember that correctly. Small F, older, big F, newer. That was Allen Antique Barn.
No, you gotta tell me. I can't handle it.
On their website, it states that they are over 24,000 square feet. It's also a little confusing. It says 150 plus as the number, but then the text underneath that says over 100 vendors under one roof. So 100 over 150, not really sure. On another page of their website, it states 300 plus booths. So I'm not really sure exactly like booth count, where we're at with this. 24,000 square feet is what they state, or 24,000 plus. My final review for this place.
We're going to let the secularist non-believers dictate how we celebrate Jesus' birthday?
For Christmas stuff, wasn't overwhelmed with Christmas stuff. Allen Antique Barn gets a 1 out of 5. So that's pretty good.
They live, they laugh, they love.
Some of the more like home crafty goods can kind of fall into this category because they're sometimes styled after things that Hobby Lobby sells. So like I see kind of like the wooden signs, and maybe those were homemade, but they look like something that would be sold in Hobby Lobby. So it ends up being a point for that. Live, laugh, love, Hobby Lobby. I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 5.
There's enough cool stuff here to finish a happening pad.
MCM Vibes was like, no, I saw some funky cool stuff. I actually gave this a 3 out of 5 for MCM Vibes. You know, actually I'm gonna say 2 out of 5 because I think some of that was just like a couple, it was like 1 or 2 pieces in one booth that I saw. And what I'm really looking is for like a whole booth to be this.
Hi, Grandpa.
Grandpa's shed though, there was quite a few Rusty Tool, Garage Sign, Grandpa Shed booths. We're given 4 out of 5. I think I'm gonna start lumping in like taxidermy to Grandpa's Shed, like man cave type, maybe women like taxidermy. I don't know. That's very man decor to me. I don't know. Anywho.
I thought it'd be a lovely gift for my granddaughter, Jessica.
And for grandma stuff, I actually didn't see a whole lot of this. I'm calling this like old baby dolls. No, I'll give it like a 1 out of 5. It's like old baby dolls and then like, I don't know, just a certain class of like glass decor that, I don't know, you know, obviously this is my opinion. I'm sure there's people my age that like that kind of stuff, but I don't know. Like if I see a glass Fenton shoe, I don't know. Who's collecting the glass shoes? I know there's people out there, but I don't know. Who's that for? To reiterate, that was a 1 out of 5 for Christmas, a 1 out of 5 for Hobby Lobby, a 2 out of 5 for MCM Vibes, a 4 out of 5 for Grandpa's Shed, and a 1 out of 5 for Grandma Stuff.
Nice loot!
So at Allen Antique Barn, it wasn't like the biggest haul comparatively, but we found some cool things. I found this funky green vase. I guess I could take the tag off of it now. But yeah, I like the shape. Very funky. Of course the color. And in Japan. But looks like it could be either just standalone really cute or maybe another propagation vase. Yeah. I also found another wood carved piece, wall art piece. This right here. Very intricate. I thought it was cool. I like carved wood. Nothing on the back identifying it. And the bracket to hang. It's about probably 12 by 12. This was $6. Now, the last thing I found, well, the last thing I'm showing you, this was actually the first thing I found, is a board game from 1971. And it instantly caught my eye on a shelf. It says Woman and Man. And just the artwork and their faces, how he's patting her head. I was like, what the hell is that? So yeah, then upon looking at it closer, like, oh, it's a board game. So, more information on the back. It is like a battle of the sexes type. It seems like it's trying to kind of like confront sexist stereotypes. I wonder how well it actually does at doing that though. So yeah, I rifled through it and kind of, you know, made sure, looked like all the cards and game pieces were here. It's like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna get this. It's interesting. And this was $12. So here on the back, it's 1971. It's this game maker. And then I realized, showing it to my dad, that he had a game called Lie, Cheat, Steal that he had me order, we found a copy of it on eBay. And this was a year and a half, 2 years ago. That was a game he played with his family when he was a kid. And Lie, Cheat, Steal, it's a game of like you're a politician. It's a political game, Lie, Cheat, Steal. I had played it with him and my aunt and my husband. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, showing him this game, he goes, that looks like looking at the game pieces. He looked it up online to find more. I just sent him a photo. He's like, I think that's the same, just looking at the style of it and everything, I think it's the same maker as Lie, Cheat, Steal. So I looked into that, found, you know, what the maker was of each game, and yeah, they are both this Dynamic Designs game maker from the 70s. So I was like, I wonder if maybe that lends to a little bit to why I was so drawn to it. It was a kind of familiar art style, something I had seen before, so. I would like to play this. I'll probably get to play it with my husband sometime. And I think it would be fun, you know, to make a video or maybe live stream it and see just how sexist it is, or maybe how like progressive it is. We'll see. So, very intriguing. For all you old heads out there, if you were alive in 1971, have you seen this? Have you played it? Maybe you've seen or played Lie, Cheat, Steal? Let me know. Oh my gosh, so I totally forgot to include this. My glasses went because I gifted it to my husband, and then it was sitting in his office away from everything else, so I totally forgot about it. But yeah, this is just a blue glass, I guess like cello or violin. I think more of a cello with these tops. My husband's gonna be ashamed of me. I have seen these bottles quite a lot. I love blue glass, and my husband is a musician and plays guitar, and I was like, I think that'd be a nice piece for the house. And like I said, I see them all over. Let's see, there's only detail on one side. The back is just flat. Nothing really on the bottom. There's like, I think a number 7. If you can see that. They're usually over $10. 10, 12, 15. And I don't know, because I just see so many of them, I'm like, I feel like, I don't know, that's not the price I want to pay. So I had told myself if I come across one that is a reasonable price, I'll pick it up. So I found this one for $6.75. It's the cheapest one I had come across so far, so I snagged it. And what's funny is I found another one of these bottles for like twice the price in the exact same antique mall. So yeah, be all over the place. But now I finally have one, and yeah. I'd love to research this a little bit more, know anything more about like its origins and why I see them so much in antique stores.
I had rooms filled with the finest antiquities.
This is a really rare opportunity to own a classic antique.
Maybe if you had some fine art or antique coins or firearms. Let's go!
I went to this place with my dad, and so to get his history to accompany me, his eye and what he's experienced as a part of this made this trip extra cool for me. We found some cars that my dad played with and had as a kid, so that was pretty cool.
1971. Yeah.
These like, the way he described it to me is like they had this like zip strip kind of thing that you would, like you had this. This is terrible. I could probably find a video of somebody actually using these.
You hear it? I hear it.
Here it comes, the Howl of Power from Sonic Sound. Now, when you pull that T-stick, those SSP racers howl with power. Take that action. Crush 'em, smash 'em. New SSPs with Sonic Sound, Super Stalker, King Cobra, Detonator. Kenner's SSP racers for $72 now with Sonic Sound, each sold separately.
A panel from a car, like a real car, not a toy car, that was a car my grandfather owned.
Panel for a 57 Chevy. That was the side, go on the side of the car that Dad had.
Yeah, there was a sewing machine that I saw that looked like it was a pretty decent deal. I know nothing about sewing, but if it worked, it seemed like it was a decent deal. Oh yeah, a bunch of James Patterson books. I'm like, those are not vintage. No. Oh, yeah, my dad ended up catching these like probably porcelain ceramic foot warmer things that it looked like you probably just like filled them with hot water, I guess, and then just like would put your feet on them. Very simple, very interesting. I saw this thing that was, it just looked like a really cool chest or a box, kind of like this green felt lining inside, and it was priced as $1,600, and it said Gerstner. That's all it said on it. Gerstner and Sons. Oh yeah, you just Google Gerstner, and then Gerstner and Sons in Dayton, Ohio comes up, and it's just this box. Okay, well yeah, I guess it's like, I don't know, is it like a toolbox? It caught my eye because it looked cool, and it was $1,600. Wood chest and cases. Okay, well, learned something. We saw, what was it, like this US Camera magazine, and the issue that was laying on top was like a plate of food made to look like the face of Hitler. Well, like a caricature, not like super detailed. And it was from, what, October 1939? I kind of wish I had thumbed through that and seen what it had to say about Hitler, World War II, that kind of thing. He looked sad, the little Hitler face, so I don't know, very interesting. Oh, we did see a Rattan chair, so.
Dude, that chair!
We was gonna call that out. There was one booth that had a ton of German Shepherd art. Me and my dad both were reminded of.
Whoa. Wow. Oh shit, Matt, look, there it is.
There's like an episode of Always Sunny where like they have this like German Shepherd painting and they find out like Hitler painted it or something. It's like a dentist that wants it or gets it and they try to get it back and they go and like the whole dentist office is just like German Shepherd artwork.
Oh, holy shit.
Oh yeah, we saw a shelf that was like clearly from like a book fair or like your elementary school library. It had the DK Eyewitness logo on it, and immediately my brain was just brought back to like da 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 da. You know, when your teacher had a hangover and just threw that on for you to watch. Shit slapped, don't deny. Oh yeah, they had this freaking. It was actually a cool table that looks like somebody ruined, but 1776 America table. Fuck yeah. It was a thing. It was a choice. It's gonna be a choice for somebody to purchase and have in their home one day. And the last cool thing I saw was, I guess like would we call it an electric organ? Or it was a MX2 organ. It looked really neat to me. Old, but not old, like, I don't know. That's another one we have to look up. It said MX2 organ. I took some footage of it because it looked neat. And I have a friend who really likes organs, so when I see them, I kind of document them. So, yeah.
Whatever it is, it better be good.
So, Capital Antiques. Capital Antiques is massive. I've mentioned it before, how big it is. And I mean, even just looking at like a satellite view or looking at like Google Maps, you can just see. Like the building has a crazy shape. Like it's so easy to get lost in there. That place is like, it's a maze of booths. The website says over 150 booths, over 30,000 square feet.
We're going to let the secularist non-believers dictate how we celebrate Jesus' birthday?
Christmas booths there. I'm giving Capital a 2 out of 5. There was definitely some Christmas stuff to be had. In fact, there was a giant, what are those called, nutcracker? There was a giant nutcracker dude. He towered over me. He was kind of frightening. So yeah, we're gonna give 2 out of 5 for Christmas for Capital.
They live, they laugh, they love.
For Hobby Lobby, I'm going to also give it a 2 out of 5. You know, you just come across those booths. They got the signs. Live, laugh, love, y'all.
There's enough cool stuff here to finish a happening pad.
MCM vibes though. This place rocked, and it's probably just because of the sheer volume. This place was just really nice. I think Capital and Hog Creek Antiques are like S tier. 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. 4, maybe 4 out of 5. I can't believe I just went 5 out of 5. Then I'm like, maybe 4 out of 5. There's a lot of nice MCM vibes to be had here. I saw a really freaking cool, like lime green, mid-century modern lamp with some cool, like kind of matchy pottery plates, ashtray stuff around it. Oh, just super cool. Oh yeah, there was some really nice cross stitch and embroidery. That same booth had this really cool like daisy Afghan like blanket. I thought it was priced too high though, but it was really, I loved the pattern. It was really cool. Oh yeah, I found a cool, it was like a green like fish decanter bottle, and I've seen those before. I don't think in green though. So now that's another one that I'm gonna like have my eye out for, to like see different colors and sizes and try to like to find one for myself that's like, okay, this is I like this price, I'll pay this. Oh, and I think it was the same booth that had this really cool like yellow amber vase with like these, like it was like this face that went around it. Super cool. I don't think I caught the price of that, but it was priced too high, otherwise that definitely would have come home with me. There was just this really neat kind of like mid-century like end table that had some really nice matching pottery. I think that's it for like mid-century stuff that I saw. But yeah, 4 out of 5, 5 out of 5, that's great for that sort of thing. When you do find it, and like I said, it's priced accordingly. People know what they have, so I still don't end up buying it.
Hi, Grandpa.
For Grandpa's Shed, I give this a 2 out of 5, which is fantastic considering the size. There wasn't too much Grandpa's Shed.
I thought it'd be a lovely gift for my granddaughter, Jessica.
Our grandma's dolls and such, porcelains, also 2 out of 5. Very good levels of things for what I'm personally looking for. Very high on like the funky vibes, and pretty balanced on like my Hobby Lobby, Grandpa, Grandma, and Christmas stuff. But I didn't really buy anything that was like too funky decor mid-century, because yeah, like I said, it's usually priced accordingly when you do see that sort of thing. So just to reiterate, that was 2 out of 5 on Christmas, 2 out of 5 on Hobby Lobby, 2 out of 5 on Grandpa's Shed, 2 out of 5 on Grandma, 4.5 out of 5 on the MCM vibes at Capital Antiques.
Oh, hey, meatwad. Look what I got.
So it's such a funny thing when I go to one of these places, and a lot of these places are huge. You know, whenever they specialize, I mean, it is an antique mall, so booth upon booth upon booth. But I think I've gotten to the point I'm going so frequently, and I've got, you know, my shelves are filling up, and so I'm becoming a little like more picky choosy about the things that I pick up. And I definitely come across things that I like, but I'm not quite willing to pay that price for. So despite Capital Antiques' crazy size, I only picked up one item. So something, if you're not familiar with, and these are not like a rare thing at all. I see them all the time. So it's not like some like coveted thing to collect, but there are these old Avon bottles. They come in all crazy shapes and sizes. So like a lot of them are birds, and I like birds, I like bird things, so I've picked up a few of these. And these bottles were typically like perfume, cologne. They seem to put cologne ones in like more manly type like bottle shapes, which are like tools. So like cologne bottles shaped like hammers and like wrenches and cars. So yeah, I'm not interested in those, but I do like the birds. I have this pheasant, and typically their heads pop off, exposing the lid. And I have this little parakeet, this peacock. This one's fun. And then the whole tail is the bottle. So yeah, interesting design. I came across this one that I actually didn't realize was an Avon perfume bottle until I like got home with it. So this was the one thing that I picked up at Capital Antiques, and it's this little glass. It has these goldfish like on the side of the glass, and then it's a little cat like looking down into the fishbowl. And I just thought it was cute, worth the price, gotta pick up something. And then upon getting home with it, yeah, I guess I might have noticed while I was in there, I don't know if that's able to be picked up. It does say Avon on the bottle, on the bottom, so I don't know if I noticed that. And the top is just, there's no like cap here or anything, so I just thought it was just the little piece of decor. And then upon messing with it some more, I realized the cat pops off and it's a bottle. And you can unscrew that and, you know, whatever liquid's inside. So interesting. But yeah, kind of like my bird ones, I just thought this was cute. And the one thing that I found, I want to say like 12 bucks or something, which even then I think maybe it was a little much for this, but like I said, I had to get something, so this is what we got there. Absolutely classic that it's been a couple weeks since I went to Capital Antiques and I do my haul and I'm like, yeah, all I got was this little cat. And I'm like, wait a minute. As I'm pulling all of the footage off of my camera and seeing the thumbnails and all, I'm like, no, I got a really cool pair of earrings too. So, to add, I found these very like 80s looking pink orangey swirl post earrings. So I'm having some really good luck with the earring finds at these antique places. I have already worn these out a couple of times. I really like the contrast of the pink with my green hair. So yeah, nice little find. I think these were probably like $4 or $5, you know, they're never really more than that unless they're like something fancy and they know it. So yeah. Wow. How about all of those amazing finds? Really, there was not that many, but they were amazing. And the prices, huh? Like, I love holding out like I did with that cello bottle and going, no, I won't pay $12 for this, but I will pay $6.75. Little victories, okay? Those things make me very happy. Green glass fish decanter bottle, as I mentioned, like that's next on my list of like keeping an eye out, as well as the wood slice clock that I've been keeping an eye out. Little things we know, we can have more little victories as we go antiquing in the future. How are y'all feeling about my new rating system? Give me your thoughts on that. Let me know if you like saw anything cool hanging out in any of these antique stores in my footage. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Mixed Vintage Voyages, and stay tuned for our next episode. I'm not quite sure where we'll be going and reviewing yet. Like I said, like, subscribe. Actually, I didn't say that yet, but pretend I did, and now I'm telling you again to like and subscribe. If, you know, you are in southern Michigan, northern Indiana, or I mean, even Ohio, like West Ohio, and get my cardinal directions. If there's a specific spot you know of you'd like me to explore, please let me know. Yeah, but thank you again, and stay passionate, everyone. Enjoy your free time.